What's up everyone, this is mhagsr and today I will be setting up April 2022 in my bullet journal. I'm really excited to show you all my very unique setup this month because I actually turned my bullet journal sideways so that the page orientation is landscape instead of portrait. And I think it makes for some really interesting spreads that I hope you stick around to see. I make all of my monthly themes based on different TV shows and movies, and this month is no different because for April I decided to do a Detective Pikachu theme. I was inspired to do this theme because I was really in the mood to do something Pokemon related for some reason. I think because I was in the mood to do something just purely cheerful and cute. For the drawing on the top of the page, I drew Pikachu with his little Sherlock Holmes detective hat and the top of his tail sticking out. I try to write April through a magnifying glass, but I absolutely loathe how it turns out, so I'll fix it later. One of my favorite things about bullet journaling is experimenting with different spreads and layouts. In particular, I'm always trying to find the best weekly layout that works for me. I personally don't need a full 2 pages for 1 week. I usually do 1 week per page, and then my weeklies are usually Dutch doors as well. In the past, when I had taller columns for my weekly boxes, I found that was the most useful for me, so I can list a bunch of short tasks that I need to get done each day. So I was thinking about all these components that I want in an ideal weekly layout, and then it hit me. If I turn my journal sideways, I can have all the things I want in a weekly layout. I can have all the things. Then other ideas for monthly spreads and layouts just started rushing in. I had this huge burst of inspiration and I just got so excited to try out my wild idea because I could be wrong, but I've never seen anyone else ever set up their entire month in a bullet journal like this. I really like to be creative and try new things in my bullet journal, so I was excited to try this out. So like I said before, I got this huge burst of inspiration for this setup, and part of that burst was to do an entire month with Dutch doors, and behind them all would be this really cute and simple pattern design. So because this month's theme is Detective Pikachu, the doodles for this pattern include Pikachu heads, detective hats, magnifying glasses, and little Pikachu tails. This pattern was so fun to draw, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Because every page is a Dutch door this month, I also had to do some things differently to save on space. So you'll see coming up for my mood tracker, I'm just going to do a very simple calendar where I'll color in the square depending on my mood for that day. I'm also trying to get in the habit of working out more and being more active, so I want to track the specific types of workouts I'm doing throughout the month. Normally I would just do a workout category on my habit tracker, but this month I'm giving it its own tracker so I can see more specifically what types of workouts I'm doing. And per usual, I have a spot to track my sleeping. And because everything is layered in this Dutch door format, I wanted to color these tabs for each spread to tie in the colors from the Detective Pikachu theme. This next page is pretty simple. It's just my regular habit trackers, a spot for a to-do list, and a spot to write down some things I'm grateful for throughout the month. I'm always trying to find a good way to stamp these calendars straight, but for the life of me, I can never seem to do it. Maybe next month I'll just make them purposely crooked so I don't have to keep worrying about lining them up perfectly. Okay, so here I am finally setting up the weekly spreads of my dreams. They are very simple, just some columns where I have space for each day of the week. I don't like clumping my Saturdays and Sundays together under weekend because I usually have a lot I need to do on the weekends, so it helps me split up the tasks between the 2 days. Next, you're going to see me try to do some fancy editing to save you all from watching me set up the same exact weekly spread. I really deserve like a Oscar or something for this amazing editing, don't you think? Last but not least is my monthly review section. I'm actually very excited about this monthly review setup. Since I revamped a lot of my other setups for this month, I also thought about what the point of these monthly reflections are for me, and I narrowed it down to these 3 things: mental, physical, and creative. So I decided to just give myself the space to reflect on these areas. Okay, going back to the cover real quick, I could not put away my perfectionism to ignore that April title any longer. It was haunting me, mocking me, so I decided to redo it. And I tried a couple different fonts and outlines, but I want to give a shout out to Heta from Mochi Bujo, who is one of my favorite bullet journalers. I used her squiggle outline that she likes to use a lot, and I think it turned out really cute, so thank you, Heta, for the inspiration. Then I realized I wrote the title very close to the edge of the paper, and I didn't like the empty space below it, so I wrote 2022 in red to tie in the red from Pikachu's cheeks, and I love the extra pop of color it added. Then I also went back with my brown marker and added this little herringbone type texture to Pikachu's detective hat. And that pretty much concludes my April 2022 setup. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you think about this wild and silly, completely landscape/sideways monthly setup. Would you ever try something like this in your bullet journal? Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because it truly helps small YouTubers like me conquer the algorithm gods and recommend my videos to more people. Thank you again for watching, and take care until next time.